Ahead of the visit of Bournemouth, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the United interim manager, talking about Paul Pogba, saying the attitude has been perfect and that's key. You should be tired towards the end of every single game. He's been top class. We're looking to build a team around him, of course, but there are also so many quality players in the squad. So many thought he might have been on his way out of Old Trafford just a few weeks ago, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, he was embroiled in this mess, and he was not blameless in it. But that being said, you know, I expect that from Paul Pogba. I expect to see him dominate games. I expect him to be the talisman and drive them forward. But what I would say is the fawning, and I mean it has been fawning over him and United's performances in the two games, has been scary. They played at Cardiff away, who are a promoted struggling side, and the worst team in the Premier League in Brighton and Hove Albion. So, and you're listening to Ian Dark on yesterday's show, he said, give it a couple of months.
Yeah.
And now we've got Bournemouth. Let me tell you about Bournemouth. As good as Eddie Howe's been for them, in the last 10 games, they've lost 8. And they've only won 2, and they've both been at home to Brighton and Huddersfield. So there's more cannon fodder. And it's not this anti-United agenda that the social media trolls like to throw out. It's a reality.
Right.
I'm trying to contextualise the situation here. You've just played 2 of the poorest teams in the Premier League, and all of a sudden, you know, I know it's a happy camp again. I understand that. Mourinho's gone, everything's happy. I get that, right? But please, just take a breath when you realise about try to put context in how good the performances have been.
If you're a United fan, I have no problem with you phoning. I mean, I understand what Craig is saying, but if you're a United fan, regardless of the bar's been set really low. But regardless of whether it was Cardiff and Huddersfield, you weren't quite sure what you're going to get out of United. And even when they won, it just seemed laboured. And it wasn't free-flowing. It wasn't a whole lot to write home about. Now, if after enduring the last 6 months of United that we've seen, to at least see these 2 performances, to give you some sense of optimism between now and the end of the season, you take that. Again, understandably, if you're a neutral, if you sit around the table to discuss football as we do, maybe that has gone a little bit too far. But if you're a fan, You've been calling for this for quite some time.
Stewart, you can only beat who's in front of you. They've got Bournemouth in front of them. How impressed have you been with these first 2 games under Solskjaer?
Well, they've played a lot better, but it's been more about the attitude, the positivity, the crowd getting behind them as well. Paul Pogba, as Craig said, should be running football games. He's one of the best midfield players in the world, as he was at the World Cup. And I played under 8 managers, and I think it was difficult for the players under Mourinho. If you know the manager is digging you out in the press quite often, if you know that he's being negative about your performance, or he doesn't really want you to play that well because he wants to back his own argument, it makes it difficult for players to perform at their very best. So I think now you're seeing a loving with some of the Manchester United players from Solskjaer and the crowd. That could change if they lose a game. That's when you'll see whether Manchester United are still a good side or whether they're going to struggle under Solskjaer as well.